Today's video is brought to you by Heineken.
Heineken? F that shit! PABST Blue Ribbon!
Today's video is brought to you by PABST Blue Ribbon. Hey everybody, how's it going out there? Welcome to Movies and Music with AJ. My name's AJ. Thanks for watching. And today we're back with another movie reaction. We're going to be watching Blue Velvet, written and directed by David Lynch, and it's from 1986. And you gotta love a good coincidence, right? Because a couple weeks ago, just totally randomly, I reacted to the movie Speed on this channel. And it was honestly kind of a last minute decision. I just wanted to end August with, just a fun action film. And I'd had so much fun watching Keanu Reeves movies on this channel that I was like, yeah, let's just throw Speed on, let's watch that. But honestly, for the last month and a half, I've known that I was going to react to Blue Velvet because September this month is the 35th year anniversary of Blue Velvet, and I like to watch films right around their anniversaries, especially in multiples of 5, just because I feel like, anniversaries are a good time to really examine a film. It's a time when people are really thinking about a movie. But yeah, just a total random pick, watching Speed a couple weeks ago, and my favorite part of Speed ended up being Dennis Hopper, and he was just amazing. He stole every scene he was in, and honestly really made the film for me. So now here we are 2 weeks later, and I'm watching Blue Velvet, and it just so happens to also have Dennis Hopper in it. So I'm really excited about that. Excited to see if he brings that same manic, weird, crazy energy to this film as well, which honestly would probably be pretty suited for this film because it is a David Lynch film. And though I've never watched Blue Velvet, I've watched a handful of David Lynch films, so I feel like I know what's up more or less. Yeah, my introduction to David Lynch. So I was a college sophomore. I happened to live across the street from a Blockbuster. And if I'm being honest, I probably spent like 80% of my free time that year playing poker, in the basements of co-ops and dorm buildings and random people's apartments. But yeah, basically the time that I was not spending playing poker that year, I was probably spending watching movies that I'd rented at that Blockbuster. I'm sure there was some studying in there in between those things as well. But yeah, I used to like to go into that Blockbuster and browse the old section, honestly, and just pick random stuff. But yeah, one of those random picks was Mulholland Drive. I don't think I'd heard of it, but the cover looked interesting. Flipped it over, read the description, and I was like, yeah, let's give this one a shot. Yeah, I remember being not that deep into the movie and just thinking, like, what is this? Like, some of the acting was kind of bad, but it also felt intentionally bad. And there was just weird moments, scary moments, funny moments, sad moments, and it was such a roller coaster ride of just emotions, but also just such a trippy ride to be on. But yeah, by the time that movie was done, I was on board. Being a 19-year-old kid watching Mulholland Drive, it was mind-blowing. I didn't really have any idea what I just watched. I had to watch it again a couple more times. And so yeah, I'm really looking forward to what we're going to see in this film, because one thing I really like about David Lynch is that you can't really pin him down in terms of a genre, so you just never know what you're going to get with any given one of his films. I think the best description I've ever read of David Lynch and his work is that he's the best horror film director who's never made a pure horror film. Yeah, just looking back on Mulholland Drive, that film has one of the biggest jump scares that I've had watching a movie. But yeah, even beyond that, so much of his work just has these really tense, suspenseful, anxiety-inducing moments. I've been more scared watching some of his films than I have, some horror films. So yeah, I just think that's a fun description of David Lynch. Yeah, the best horror film director who's never made a horror film. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into this film, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So without further ado, this is going to be my reaction to Blue Velvet by David Lynch from 1986. Let's go. I've seen this cover with this backdrop, and I've always wondered, is this a curtain? Kind of looks like a dress. Already really liking this music though. That's one thing I really like about David Lynch is a lot of his aesthetics, whether it's visual or set design or music, harkens back to the 30s, 40s, 50s, a lot of noir. Yeah, like this song, doo-wop, oldies music, very much in that David Lynch aesthetic. It's really interesting because, not all of his stuff is period pieces, but even the stuff that he makes that's contemporary in its setting and time still has a sort of throwback or period piece feel to it just because of his aesthetic choices. It creates a sort of surreal timelessness to his work. Ooh. the slow motions close up. And that wasn't even like a proper, like, they didn't set that up to be a close up. That was clearly like they spliced and did a zoom on the footage that they had because it was so grainy. Whoa. The sound design. Yeah. Already, what are we like? Just a couple minutes in. He's already set that tone, that mood of like, yeah, this is gonna be a creepy movie. I'm really digging this music. Yeah, that's another thing that Lynch does a lot, is just holding on shots like a couple beats longer than what you normally would, just to really sink us into the unease and anxiety of a scene. Is that an ear? That is an ear. Oh, it even have like some of the hair from the temple just still on it. What do you do in this situation, you know? Like, I'd like to report an ear? Or do you just go about your day? I'm just always worried about that idea of, like, no good deed goes unpunished. Like, I just feel like I'd be the one to find this, and then I'd report it, and then that would make me a suspect. It's like, I'd almost rather not be involved, you know?
I, found an ear.
You did? A human ear?
Yeah, I thought I should bring it to you.
Good follow-up question.
It looks like the ear was cut off with scissors.
Oh, nice cut. That was great. By the way, Kyle MacLachlan, I never watched the original run of Twin Peaks, but that did not stop me from watching Twin Peaks: The Return on Showtime. And yeah, that show was amazing, and his performance, no spoilers, but as a couple different characters, he was phenomenal. Yeah, if I'm being honest, Twin Peaks: The Return is my favorite David Lynch thing ever. It's amazing how we're just like 10 minutes in and already this feels so akin to a film like Mulholland Drive or to Twin Peaks: The Return. So many of the techniques, aesthetics, you know, the composition, the editing and pacing, the sound design, you know, his propensity to hold on to a shot for longer than most people would. It's amazing how all that's fully on display in this film. And I'm wondering if it's his first film where he really started to hone in on this style. Is this Laura Dern? She's just gonna emerge from the darkness with the music. That's fun.
Hey, baby. Hey, babe.
That was the weakest attempt at catcalling ever.
Come on. Now are you gonna tell me why we're here?
There are opportunities in life for gaining knowledge and experience. Sometimes it's necessary to take a risk.
Sneak into her apartment? Are you crazy? Jeffrey, she's possibly involved in murder.
No one would think two people like us would be crazy enough to do something like this.
Loving this production design, how her dress and the walls and the carpet are all kind of in the same color palette. But then you just have the white tile and the white kitchen walls framing Kyle MacLachlan within that frame. You know, the point of which kind of emphasizing that he is this intruder. He's there for maybe reasons that he's not stating. You know, he's separate from the rest of the scene because he doesn't belong there.
Here's to an interesting experience, huh?
I'll drink to that.
She wore blue
that transition visually and musically. He's always just kind of leaving you just a little bit discombobulated in terms of the pacing of a scene and the transitions. You sometimes don't know where you're at with him, you know? And I think that's very much intentional, trying to keep you uneasy. You know, you're never quite on solid footing when navigating a David Lynch film. And that's one of the things I really love about his style.
I'm gonna wait here until she comes.
Sandy.
I'm gonna honk 4 times, and then you'll hear it and you'll know she's on her way up.
Okay.
I don't know if you're a detective or a pervert.
Why not both?
For me.
This is a good use of silence, because obviously this film has not been a stranger to using a film score. And I feel like a lot of lesser films would have really put some heavy score here to try to like emphasize the mood of tension or unease. But just having most of that scene play in total silence was much more effective in terms of making me feel uneasy. Better start honking that horn. Oh no, of course.
Frank, what's the matter with him? Mommy loves you.
Whoever Frank is, I'm guessing he has her child.
Get out of there! Get out! Put your hands up! On your head! Do it! Jeffrey, what?
Jeffrey, nothing.
Oh! Just stab him in the cheek?
I didn't mean to do anything except see you.
What did you see? Do you sneak in girls' apartment to see them get undressed?
I mean, that's the most logical conclusion to draw.
I want to see you get undressed! Come closer.
Definitely one of those times you don't want to hear somebody say that. When they're at crotch level holding a knife. I'm sure this is not how he thought this was going to go when she first opened the door and found him there.
Don't say anything. Go in the closet. Don't say anything.
Hey, there he is.
Where's my bourbon? Spread your legs. Wider. Don't you fucking look at me. Oh, Mommy! Mommy!
I don't know how many times I'm going to say this during this movie, but this is not where I thought that was going to go.
Don't you fucking look at me!
God damn. Those are the scissors, aren't they?
Daddy's coming.
Those are the ear scissors.
Stay alive, baby. Do it for me.
Hold on. No. Hold on, hold me. Hold me. I'm scared.
Hey, it's the poster.
You like the way I feel?
Yeah, this just goes back to the whole discovering the ear and what do you do? It's like, this is why you just mind your own business and just go about your day. Lynch does have a knack for putting together a nightmare sequence.
Dorothy Valance is married to a man named Don. I think the son and the husband have been kidnapped by a man named Frank. Why are there people like Frank? Why is there so much trouble in this world?
I had a dream. Thousands of robins were set free, and they flew down and brought this blinding light of love.
I looked for you in my closet tonight. I liked being with you last night.
You know, with all these different apps, they've made it so much easier to try to find somebody. Back in the day, you had to go to a jazz club and then follow her home and hide in her closet and wait for the crazy guy to leave before you could even have a shot with somebody.
5 minutes from now, you're not going to believe what I've told you. Now, I'm seeing something that was always hidden. I'm involved in a mystery.
We were just talking.
Oh. You're from the neighborhood. Hey, you want to go for a ride?
I don't want to go
Go where?
for a ride.
A ride. Now that's a good idea. Come on, we're gonna go for a joyride. Joyride. What kind of beer do you like? Heineken. That shit. PABST Blue Ribbon.
I'm Paul. What's your name?
Jeffrey.
It's like, yeah, I approve. That can be your name.
Where's the glasses? That beer's gonna get warm. One thing I can't stand is warm beer. It makes me puke.
You want me to pour it?
No, I want you to it. Shit, yes, pour the fucking beer.
I love any director that just lets Dennis Hopper be Dennis Hopper. He just always puts a little extra on every line, you know?
Here's to your health.
Ah, shit, let's drink to something else.
I just got that.
Here's the beer!
Jeez.
Here's to Ben.
Be polite!
Here's to Ben.
That's rich coming from him.
Let Ted see her kid, huh?
Oh, this is where they're keeping him. I guess that makes sense. I just hadn't put it together. Just so much other weird non sequitur stuff happening in this scene that I just... This scene is right up there with the scene from Boogie Nights where the kids just popping firecrackers in the background, in terms of just scenes that take place in some random person's living room, and it just has a chaotic energy and you just feeling so tense the whole time because you have no idea what's gonna happen.
I close my eyes.
Like this. Did not know this was gonna happen.
Let's up anything that moves! You're like me.
I'd like to know how.
Damn. Next!
Why do I have a feeling like Dennis Hopper's character actually really like that? Like, I feel like Frank is the kind of person who would really respect somebody who would punch him in the face, because he's surrounded by so many just like kind of weak yes men, dudes that just go along with what he says, that he might actually respect the fact that this guy punched him. He might actually be kind of into it too, you know?
I'll send you a love letter. You know what a love letter is? It's a bullet from a fucking gun.
Oh shit.
You understand?
Oh man. He does not look good. That's a night you're never gonna forget, right? How many years of therapy? I guess his relationship is more age appropriate than the one with the jazz singer. And he's a lot less likely to get stabbed, shot, and or punched in the gut multiple times.
I love you! Love me!
Wow, I thought Claire Danes had the market cornered on best cry face. Oh, jeez. Just standing there? That's a hell of an image. So that sound is coming from his walkie. How is he still just standing there? I'm guessing that's the husband? Jeez. What did they do to that guy?
Detective Williams here. Is that you, Jeffrey?
Yeah, it's me. Listen, I'm hiding in Dorothy Vallen's apartment. Frank is on his way up here in a well-dressed man disguise. I'm hiding in the back bedroom.
Oh, that's why you're specific about his location.
You shit for brains, man! You forgot to have a police radio!
Nope, he remembered.
You got about 1 fucking second to live, buddy. Hey, pretty.
Now go, make a run for it.
Where are you? Where are you?
Yikes. Can't say he doesn't have any brains. I guess she got over it. Hey, Robins. Knew there'd be a Robin.
Lunch is ready.
Yeah, I saw.
It's like, this is gonna be my lunch.
I don't see how they could do that. I could never eat a bug.
want to know what David Lynch sees in his head. A, when he conceptualizes this ending, and then B, when they film it and edit it, and he's watching this. What is he thinking and feeling watching this sequence? And does he think about what we, the audience, are supposed to be feeling in this? I feel like more than most filmmakers, he's probably just making these films for himself, you know? And that's great. That's awesome. But man, I don't know if what he's feeling when he's conceptualizing that is what I'm feeling, you know? Like, I'm looking at that thinking it's a little creepy, a little off, a little scary. Even though it's these very quaint images, it just feels a little unsettling. But with the music, and if it was anybody else, any other director, to me it would have been clear that their intent there was, this is a happy ending, and this is what happy endings look like, and now you should feel happy because the good guys won and lived happily ever after. And like a lesser, you know, right? I don't want to say lesser, but most more traditional mainstream filmmakers, you know, it would have been clear that that was the intent, and that's what I'm supposed to be feeling. But there's something about the way that Lynch edits things, and the music that he uses, and how long he lingers on a shot, and the crossfades, and just all of it, the way he puts it together. It's like, on paper, I'm acknowledging intellectually that this is supposed to, like, this is what a happy ending is supposed to look like. But the way he does it, he just puts that little, you know, Lynch English on it, and he just manages to twist it from happy to just kind of creepy and unsettling. And damn, I don't know how he does that, but he's clearly a master of what he's doing, and I hope that that's his intent, you know, because that's how it comes across. I'm gonna have to look up if this is a period piece or not, you know, if it's intended to be a period piece or not. Yeah, I mean, I'm reading through the Wikipedia plot summary, and there's no mention that this is intended to be a period piece. So I'm guessing it's meant to be contemporary in its setting. But again, Lynch just has this thing where he just, you know, his aesthetic and his films are sort of not even really timeless, but more unmoored from time. You know what I mean? Like, he blends eras and does it very organically and seamlessly, to where you never quite know what era you're watching. You know, I felt like that was the case to an extent watching Twin Peaks: The Return, you know, where there was some aesthetic choices in there where, even though I knew it was in modern day, there were things about it that made it feel, you know, like it was maybe, you know, decades earlier. And he does that in so many of his films, just somehow imbues a modern aesthetic with, you know, touches and choices that, you know, kind of unmoor you from time, and you're not sure what time period you're in. But again, it's just part of the bigger picture of Lynch that I get watching his films, which is he always is just keeping you unsettled, and he's always, you know, I think I said this during the film, but you can never quite find your footing navigating a David Lynch film, and I think that's very much intentional, and it's part of the appeal for me anyway. It's just making it through an entire David Lynch film, having felt uneasy the whole time, not sure what was going to happen. I also feel part of what emphasizes that sort of lack of groundedness or sort of uneasiness in a David Lynch film, you know, one of the things that really helps push that is the performances, because I feel like he gets these really great performances out of his actors, but they're all very individual. You know, I feel like, and, you know, I would love to see or read about, you know, his method when it comes to directing actors, because without fail, there's, you know, the David Lynch movies that I've watched, it always feels like, you know, there's one character who's acting like they're in a different movie. And I think it's very much by design. You know, I just feel like he'll take a handful of his actors and say, performance-wise, okay, you know, pretend that this character lives in an old soap opera and modulate your performance towards that, you know, trying to replicate that old soap opera feel to where it's kind of hammy and it's a little, you know, dialing up the melodrama just a little bit, you know, making it the performance a little less grounded and a little bigger and broader, and just you know, just really kind of hamming it up in that way. But then he'll get an actor, one of his actors, he'll tell him, you're in a horror movie or you're in a serious prestige drama film, and modulate your performance towards that. So he'll get, you know, Dennis Hopper in this film, even though he was being pretty hammy, he was also being very scary in a way that was like, it felt slightly of a different film. So yeah, I just love that Lynch seems to approach directing his actors on an individual actor by actor basis. You know, he's not necessarily trying to create something cohesive by having them all sort of on the same wavelength. You know, he'll let an actor or two just be on a different wavelength and let them go with it. And yeah, again, I said this while the credits were rolling, but I can never read David Lynch. I can never read what his intentions are in terms of what he thinks we're supposed to be feeling at any given moment. And I don't honestly even think that he is thinking in that way. You know, his films feel very much, you know, even though there's plot and there's dialogue and you can follow what the plot is, you know, he can be very traditional in that way. But the way he executes it, it's just all very stream of conscious. It's very dream imagery and nightmare imagery and, you know, dream logic and nightmare logic. So he's like, you know, we're going to get from point A to point B to point C, but we're going to do it in this warped, fevered, dreamlike atmosphere with, you know, a dream logic structure. And there's going to be shots and sequences that might not make sense. They're going to be very provocative. We're still going to get you this plot, this A to B to C plot, but I'm going to do it my way, and, you know, more power to him. I'm glad a filmmaker like David Lynch exists. But yeah, whew, what a film. I mean, there's some disturbing imagery, some, you know, transcendent imagery. But yeah, hell of a time. But yeah, I think I'll go ahead and leave it there for today. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you want to follow along with more of my reactions, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Signing out for today, this has been Movies and Music with AJ. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.